Let's have the conversation. I want Jewish religious scholars, not just entertainers and niggas. You know what I'm saying? I want scholars to talk to the scholars. I want the authors to talk to the authors and work this thing out. There are claims that is becoming mainstream that the so-called Africans, the descendants of the Canaanites, so-called Africans, so-called black people, are Hebrew. Let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation. Because just saying it's anti-Semitic and shutting, it's not going to work. Those days are over. Kanye got millions and millions of followers. Kyrie got millions and millions of followers. And we have the internet. Okay? So the dark ages is done. Okay? If it is so factually in error, prove it. Prove it. I think that's a fair take. I think that's a fair and sober take. Nobody is above criticism. And I say that with love. I say that with love. There's another book. There's another book called Light and Truth, man. Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys accept Kanye's hold on, let me write Light and Truth so I remember that. He said they don't want to have this conversation. Let's see. I'm gonna do Light and Truth. It's a book called Light and Truth. Colored People Bible. There it is. It's called Light and Truth. Here's the archive book. Shout out to archive.org. Okay, here's the book. It's a long ass title. Check out this. But it's even longer than this. This one is called Light and Truth, collected from the Bible and ancient and modern history, containing the universal history of the colored and Indian races from the creation of the world to present time. This book was by Robert Benjamin, a so-called black man, written when? In 1844. So this was written in 1844. Yeah, Dr. Ben, We the Black Jews. I never read that book. So anyway, this book, Light and Truth, I want to get to it, but this is what it looks like. Here's the book here, Light and Truth. This is what it looks like. Matter of fact, let me just, while we're here, let's just go over it. So let's look at the table of contents. Actually, let's do it one page. Okay. All right. I'm giving you guys some good shit right here, dog. Oh, Banford TV says Dr. Ben donated thousands of books to Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. Yeah, I love all the stuff that's happening. We're having conversations about reparations. We're having conversations about so-called black people, you know, fitting in the Bible and old history. I love this. All right, so remember, this is about the history of man, right? The land of Ethiopia, the fall of man, the sons of Adam, right? Generations of Ham, generations of Japhet, the blessings and generations of Abraham. Those are the Abrahamic religions. Look, the generations of Esau, the so-called red people, the descendants of Egypt and Jacob. So here are ancient cities of Ethiopia, Assyria, which is in Canaan, Ethiopia, the Cushites, Egypt, those are the Hamites, the land of Canaan. There we go. All of this is Canaan, Asia Minor, Persia, all of this is Canaan, but just during different times. Cities of Africa, cities of Arabia, Moab. Remember, we're the Moabites, which are from the land of Canaan, okay? Canaanites. All this stuff is Canaanites. Mediterranean, all of this are the Canaanites. African islands. Ancient kings. Caesar, Cato, ancient kings, Alexander, Arabian kings, the king of the Hebrews, the king of Judah, the kings of Israel, the governor of Judea. See, all of these are like similar. What is all that? The judges of Israel. Okay, Hannibal. The destruction of Jerusalem. Y'all call it Jerusalem, but it's Jerusalem. The Heru Salam, Salam, meaning peace. Jerusalem. All right, let's see. Look, the present state of Judah and Israel, the Hebrews or the Israelites, the Jews, the Indian tribes of America. Huh? What? So that's page 246. The arts and sciences, early discoveries, inventions, astronomy, rhetoric, temples of Egypt. The word Negro. So look, the ancient Arabians. There we go. The hair of men's heads. The Moorish. All this is, you know, the Arabic language. This is basically black history all through. To look, Saint Domingo or Haiti. The colored republics of Guyana. The scale of complexion. So the book is called Light and Truth. Let me show you the book. He wanted to know the book again. Screenshot this. There you go. R.B. Lewis. That's Robert Lewis. Absolutely. Light and Truth, collected from the biblical. It looks pretty good, right? All right, what do y'all want to check out? You see, I'm not just talking here, dog. You feel me? I'm not just running my mouth in this motherfucker, dog. Look, generations of Japhet, blessings of Abraham and Noah. Have you read The Strong Man? I have not. Never heard of it. See, this is destruction of the Jews. Let's see. History of the prophets. So, you know, you can search. You know what's good about archive? You can search. So you can literally hit the search button. Let me see. Search. There it is. I could put anything. I could put, let's put, I want to put Ashkenazi. Let's see. Semite. Let's do Semite. All right. Sometimes I like to search something that's there. So let's do Moors. Let's see what pops up. Just to make sure the search function is working. Okay, there we go. The country of the Moors. Okay. Ishmael, people of Arabia. The Moors were his descendants. The queen of Ethiopia in the south bare a son, and his concubines was 300 women, the Ethiopians and Moors. Okay, here we go. Foot. Okay, Foot. These are the descendants of Semite, ancient. See, let me see. So the cities of Africa, Carthage. Okay, Carthage. This is Canaanites. The Canaanites, literally the Canaanites. The kingdom of Tyre. They used to wear purple. Landed on the coast of the Mediterranean in Africa and located her settlement at the bottom of the Gulf. On a peninsula near the spot where Tunis now stands. The people thus gathered from different places soon grew very numerous, and the citizens of Utica, an African city about 15 miles distant, considering them their countrymen. They had common stock, and then the city settled. It says, with Dito's views, she built her city, which appointed to pay an annual tribute to the Africans from the ground which it stood on, and call it Carthage, a name that in Phoenician and Hebrew languages. So Phoenician is Canaanites. Remember I told you we're the ancient Canaanites. Banned from TV says, Hannibal Carthage had Moors fighting Romans. Yes. Hannibal. Matter of fact, Hannibal's dad is Hannibal of Barca. Barcelona is named after Hannibal's father, Hannibal of Barca. Barcelona is, you know what I'm saying, because the Canaanites were all, you know what I'm saying, were always been in what was now Spain, right? So Barcelona is named after Hannibal's father. Continuing. So yeah, language, in the Hebrew language, right? From the small beginning, we have described Carthage increased till her population was about 1 million people. Her dominion was not long confined to Africa. A colony of Phoenicians or Ethiopians, known in scripture as the Canaanites. Told you. Settled in Carthage. The Carthaginian is settled in Spain and Portugal. I just told you that. That's what I just told you. The first inhabitants of Spain were the Celtae, a people of Gaul. Man from TV, how do you know all this stuff, man? Portugal, remember, it's Port Ugal. It's the Ugal port, right? It's Port Ugal, the Ugal port. We call it Portugal now, right? But Portugal was a port. Port Ugal was anciently called Lusitania and inhabited by tribes of wandering people till it became subject to the Carthaginians and Phoenicians, who were disposed by the Romans 250 years before Christ. So the Canaanites, so see, once again, now you have more fighting. You have Moors, or so-called black people, fighting so-called white people. You have the Canaanites fighting the Romans. You have the Romans versus the Carthaginians. The Romans hated Carthage. That was the Punic Wars. The Carthaginians were masters of all the coast which lies on the Mediterranean. That's why when you moor something, that's tying a ship to bay, right? A mooriding. Moor always is synonymous with shipbuilding and being on ships and nautical transportation and stuff like that. That's because the Phoenicians was amazing shipbuilders, because we ran the Mediterranean through ships. That's why we were the pirates and all that kind of shit. The Carthaginians were masters of all the coast which lies on the Mediterranean, right? Why on every coast? Because we can travel on water to set up a new city. We can bring materials over water to set up new cities. Yes, the Moors, he said the Moors kicked the Vikings' ass, especially the Visigoths. Those are the old Romans. We fucked the Visigoths niggas up. Their dominions at the time of Hannibal the Great set out for Italy. Okay, all the coast of Africa from by the to the Pillars of Hercules was the subject of the Carthaginians, who had maintained 3 great wars against the Romans. But the Romans finally prevailed by carrying the war into Africa. The last Punic War terminated the overthrow of Carthage. So that was a great, you know what? Because what happened was the Romans finally took the fight to the African, to the shores of Africa. They went in Carthage and demolished not only they demolished a civilian city. Because remember, what you're supposed to do is fight the military and then take over the city. But meanwhile, the people are okay. But the Romans took the fight to the common people. So anyways, we also find that among the most violent oppressors of Christianity were the Cyrenians, who had a synagogue at Jerusalem. Some of the Syrians were among the earliest Christians. Wow. Libya was anciently among the Greeks' name for Africa, but properly it embraced only so much of Africa as lay west of Egypt to the southern coast of the Mediterranean. This is so much fascinating stuff. Libya. Oh, whoa. So they're talking about Tripoli, right? The ancient city of Cyrene is called Sarun or Kairouan or Karan and lies on the dominion of Tripoli. To the shores of Tripoli, to the halls of Montezuma, to the shores of Tripoli, right? That's supposedly the Navy, right? Fighting the Moors in Tripoli. This district of the earth has lately occasioned much interest among Italian and French geographers. Great number of Jews resided here. This is coming from Matthew 27:32. You see, he's using the Bible to use, you know what I'm saying? Libya, part of Africa bordering Egypt, famous for its armed chariots and horses. 2 Chronicles 16:8. Let's look up Matthew 27:32. There it is. Matthew 27:32, King James Version. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull, they gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by a prophet. And sitting down, they watched him there. They set up over his head an accusation is written, Thus is Jesus, the King of the Jews. So anyway, they're talking about Cyrene. So yeah, man, this is a good book right here. It's a good book. Anyway, so I'll give you guys I'm gonna shoot you guys the link. Here goes the link right here. If you guys are watching on YouTube, I'm going to save this and put this link in the description. I got to save it though. Let me open up my sticky notes. All right, there we go. So yeah, that's this book right here, Light and Truth. Great book. And then this is, if you wanted to buy it, this is what it looks like right here. It's beautiful. Yeah, man. Information is all over the place, man. Shout out to Kyrie Irving, man. When is Gook and Michi? Smack addresses Av leaving URL. Give me what you owe me and you can go. Wow. Yo, I want to look up something. Let's look up the Talmud. Let me see how you spell that. Okay. What is the Talmud? I want to know what the Talmud is. The Talmud, the central text of Rabbinic Judaism and the primary source of Jewish religious law. There we go. All right, so look, the term Talmud normally refers to the collections of writing names, specifically the Babylonian Talmud, Talmud Balavi, although there is also earlier collection known as the Jerusalem Talmud, Talmud Yerushalimi. It also may traditionally be called Shash, a Hebrew abbreviation of Shashi Sidarim, or the 6 orders of the Mishnah. The Talmud has 2 components: the Mishnah, which is a written of the oral Torah, and the Gemara, that has Tanaic writings that often ventures onto other subject and expounds broadly on the Hebrew Bible. The term Talmud may refer to either Gemara alone or the Mishnah and the Gemara together. The entire Talmud consists of 63 tractates. All right. It is written in Mishnaic Hebrew and Jewish Babylonian Aramaic. What? Wait. Jewish Babylonian Aramaic. Yo, banned from TV. What the fuck kind of sense does that make? All right, so that means it's Hebrew. Babylonian means Canaanite. Aramaic is the religion of the Cushites. Right? So this has to be a Semitic language. This is wow. Jewish Babylonian Aramaic, which was a form of Middle Aramaic employed by writers of Lower Mesopotamia, which is Canaanites. Yes, that's right. Between the 4th and 11th centuries, that was when we ran the world, right? Our reign was between the Islamic reign between the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th centuries. It is most commonly identified as the language of the Babylonian Talmud, which was completed in the 7th century, and of post-Talmudic literature, which are the most important cultural products of the Babylonian Jews. Wow. Look, wearing fezzes, my nigga. Look, they wearing fezzes, my nigga. What the fuck you talking about? The Babylonian Jews wear fezzes, dog. Wow. 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 They over there rocking our religious headdress. Of course, Babylonian, that's Canaanites. Look at this. This is amazing. These are the Jews in Iraq. The Jewish community is what is termed in Jewish sources as Babylon, included Ezra the scribe. It was compiled in Babylonia, which is in modern day Iraq, which is Canaanites. From the biblical Babylonian period to the rise of the Islamic Caliphate, the Jewish community of Babylon thrived as the center of Jewish learning. Wow. So Judaism comes from the Canaanites and all this shit. Through the Middle Ages, back when we ran the world, right? Wow, amazing. It's crazy, like, to see Europeans, right? These are Europeans rocking our fez. Like, seeing Jews rocking our fez. Seated in the center is Sir Sassoon Eskel, the first minister of finance of the kingdom, with the King Faisal immediately to his left. The tycoon senator Saleh Daniel is seated on the far right. So these are Jewish financiers, right? These are basically the ancestors of the modern day Jews who got all this shit cracking. Wow. So let's check out this tycoon. His name is Menachem Saleh Daniel, rocking a fez. Ottoman. Iraqi Jewish businessman, landowner, philanthropist, and politician who served in the Senate in the Kingdom of Iraq in Baghdad to the Ottoman Chamber of Deputies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the people who know more than me. I'm going to go and ask the Grand Sheik, why do I see these Europeans rocking fezzes? And so I think what you're telling me, Ban from TV, is that these are the Turks? Wow. I got to send this to the Grand Sheik. Wow, I had no idea about this, man. Anyway, so I was trying to go about the Talmud. So the Babylonian Talmud. So, okay. Criticism of the Talmud. Look, David Duke. Many attacks come from anti-Semitic sources. You see, they throw that anti-Semitic out there. History, Michael Levi, in his book, The History of the Talmud, wrote that detractors of the Talmud, both during and subsequent to its formation, have varied in their characters, subject, and actions. Defenders of the Talmud point out that many of these criticisms, particularly those in anti-Semitic sources, are based on quotations that are taken out of context, thus misrepresent the meaning of the Talmud's text, and is basically this is a bad Roman Catholic right here. I say bad meaning good. This is a European Roman Catholic who stands behind Farrakhan. It's amazing, right? We definitely got to do a show looking this guy up, dude. Reverend Michael Flegler. You know what I'm saying? It's a Roman Catholic. It's a European Roman Catholic. Any which way, why am I here? I forget. Why am I even here? But they be trying to throw that anti-Semitic thing out on Farrakhan. But, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I don't even know why I'm here. But anyway, oh, Lakers win. Oh, the Lakers won. Shout out to the Lakers. They won. But anyway, I was trying to get Farrakhan's take on the Talmud. He wrote, he had a lecture where he was criticizing here it is. Farrakhan, Talmudic Jewish influence responsible for pedophilia slave trade. Yep. He said in 2019 Savior's Day convention in Chicago. I think I was there for this. Louis Farrakhan, head of the Nation of Islam, delivered a 4-hour keynote where he said certain people who call themselves Jews to hide their true identity are the synagogue of Satan. He claimed that Jews don't let blacks use the term Holocaust to describe the slave trade, and he criticized so-called Jews for believing that, quote, the suffering of 6 million Jews is worth 7 billion human beings. He explained that Moses taught the Jews, quote, tricknology, that the Jewish scholars came up with the Talmud, and that Talmudic Jews are culprits who see themselves as God. He claimed that the sharecropping and the enslavement of so-called blacks are justified by the Talmud, and that the so-called Jews have exploited the American people through predatory lending practices because the Talmud permits Jews to cheat Gentiles, non-Jews. I love talking about race, religion, and politics, even though most people don't. You know what I'm saying? When I talk battle rap, the numbers are way high. When I talk race, religion, and politics, not necessarily.